And welcome into a Dolphins Today postgame, and a very sad Dolphins Today postgame because there is no way to slice this one. It was a dominating performance from the Baltimore Ravens and an emphatic victory. And a lot of ways the Dolphins are left soul searching. 56-19. In all aspects of the game, the Dolphins were outplayed. They were a day late and a dollar short. They just looked unprepared for the big moment. The moment was exactly that. Too big for them. The Ravens proved their dominance, and with that, the Ravens lock up the number one seed in the AFC and a first-round bye. And meanwhile, now the Dolphins will have to beat the Bills at home in Week 18 to secure the AFC East title. They've been at the top of the AFC East all season long, but now, because the Dolphins could not take care of business, it comes down to Week 18 against the Buffalo Bills. Now we'll have serious playoff implications on the line as well. But for this game, the score tells the story. 56-19, day late, dollar short in all aspects. Defense was terrible. Offense turned the ball over. Special teams was not good. So I'm asking you right off the top, grade the Dolphins' performance against the Ravens. And if anyone has more than a C, I would really like to have a word with you. But everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I'm giving the Dolphins a D. This was a huge moment, an opportunity to once again destroy that silly narrative that has followed this team around, that they can't beat good teams. It was an opportunity to win on the road and an opportunity to put yourself in the driver's seat for the number one seed. With so much on the line, the Dolphins offense, the Dolphins defense, the special teams unit all played out of sync. They played slow. They played soft. They looked like they were the junior varsity team compared to the dominant varsity team of the Baltimore Ravens. But maybe that's what this team is. And on top of that, there was a lot of unfortunate injury news to get to, which we will right now, starting with the quarterback. Tua Tagovailoa left this game and did not return. Now, initial thoughts, reactions, if you will, it doesn't appear to be anything serious. It's a left shoulder injury, and I'm guessing, and I'm of the belief that he was kept out of the game because it was obviously in the balance with the lopsided score. But nonetheless, you got Tua Tagovailoa running for a first down on 4th and 12 late in the fourth quarter, down by 30, and he did slide but still took the hit. We'll see how it all plays out, but Tua left the game, did not return, left shoulder injury. Xavien Howard is our next injury news and note to get to. Xavien Howard, the cornerback, first series of this game, was carted off the field. It is a foot injury, perhaps an ankle injury. We'll keep updated on that. But Xavien Howard left the game, did not return. The Dolphins defense took a significant step back without him in the lineup. Speaking of defensive injuries, Bradley Chubb. Now, this is the one that I, hand up as transparent as I can be, am very concerned about. Carted off the field late in the game. It was a non-contact knee injury, and Mike McDaniel was out at the cart that he was being wheeled off in, and it just gave such eerie flashbacks to the Jalen Phillips injury. So nothing official yet, but it didn't look good. And again, he was holding his knee, and he had his teammates surrounded him on the cart as he was carted off the field. Nothing official yet, but Bradley Chubb unfortunately was injured late in that game. And again, a game that was already in the balance with the Ravens dominating the Miami Dolphins. But 56-19 is the final in this one. You see the two interceptions from Tua Tagovailoa, whereas Lamar Jackson probably solidified the NFL MVP. 5 touchdowns. He was a hot knife through butter against this weak Dolphins defense all game long. But you know what's not weak? The daily fantasy platform Prize Picks. In fact, it's the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. By now, you probably know how it works, but you simply pick more or less on a player's projected stat, and that is when the fun begins. There's no complicated spreadsheets or anything like that. And if you know ball like I do, then sometimes you can hit on some Prize Picks like I did in this game, even though it was a bummer of a game. Devon Achane scored a touchdown, so check. I had him for more than 0.5. Tua Tagovailoa threw for more than 224.5. And as we showed you, Lamar Jackson had a field day and was well over the 200-yard mark. So 3 for 3 I'm cashing my Prize Picks. You should play along too at prizepicks.com/CLNS. And because we love you and we care about you, that link's going right into the chat. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS. It'll be in the description of this video as well. So one click and it takes you right there, up to a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. Now, instant reactions from this game, very simple. Too many turnovers. You're not going to win against a good team when you commit as many turnovers as the Dolphins did. And we said it all week long leading up to this game. You have to be able to take care of the football. Last week against the Cowboys, not the best performance from the offense, but they took care of the football. They won the turnover battle, and they won an ugly game. We said it was going to be that type of game against a Ravens team who led the NFL in takeaways coming into this game, and the Dolphins played right into their hand. A lot of that falls on the shoulder of Tua Tagovailoa. 2 interceptions again. Both of them were not great throws. One of them was so egregiously forced into quadruple coverage. There's just no excuse for it. You're not going to win games on the road with so much to play for when you commit as many turnovers as the Dolphins did. And I hate to pile on Tua, but as the unquestioned leader of this team and the leader of the offense, the franchise quarterback, there's going to be a microscope on every single performance in big games for Tua Tagovailoa. In this game, he was sluggish, he was out of sync, he was missing throws, and it's so crazy because the beginning of the game, like I said, it was a hot knife through butter. The Dolphins offense drove the ball right down the field on the first drive, drove the ball right down the field in the second drive, and after Tyreek Hill missed that catch in the back of the end zone, that was an easy touchdown catch, this Dolphins offense just went downhill all game. Now, those are instant takeaways. This probably, if you were to put together what truly defined this game, is the Dolphins' defense and their inability to make fundamentally sound plays. They missed tackles. And I hate to make it sound like I'm just, quote-unquote, bitching at the world here, but the idea of this Dolphins defense being elite, the numbers backed it up since Week 9. But this performance from the Dolphins defense was the furthest thing from elite. They looked like the bottom of the barrel of NFL defenses against the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson carved them up to the tune of 5 touchdowns. The rushing attack was there all day. This Ravens offense just had their way from start to finish with this Dolphins defense, and the 56 points is exactly representative of that. 56-19. 5 touchdowns for Lamar Jackson. The Dolphins just gave him an assist for the NFL MVP because that's how bad they played today. 56-19, the final. Now, all that said, the Dolphins are going to the playoffs. They clinched last week with the win over the Cowboys. So the season's not over. Everything comes down to Week 18 to win the AFC East against the Buffalo Bills. And that, my friends, is why you should subscribe because all week long, we're going to have videos leading you up to Dolphins versus Bills. We'll have breaking news anytime breaking news happens. We'll have video coverage of that. And, of course, our live shows leading up to the Dolphins versus Bills Week 18 showdown. Now, in summary, the Dolphins turned the ball over way too many times. Tua was sluggish. This whole team was sluggish. They were out of sync. The defense was exposed. The narrative of them being unable to beat a good team, that's all back. And when you lose 56-19, that's what's going to happen. So 56-19, the final in this one, the Ravens dominate. Lamar Jackson throws 5 touchdowns. The Dolphins get banged up. Overall, I think I saw a couple of people use the term catastrophic to describe this Week 17 game, and I would concur with that. So we are always left asking this question on how this Dolphins team has been all year. Can the Dolphins beat a good team? Type Y for yes or N for no. And I don't know where I'm at with this one, to be honest with you guys. I still believe in this Dolphins team. We'll find out a lot in Week 18 against the Buffalo Bills because that's going to be for the AFC East divisional title with the Bills beating the Patriots 27-21 and your AFC playoff picture continuing to fold into the mix here. The Dolphins now 11-5. If they can get that 12th win over the Buffalo Bills and win the AFC East, they should have the number 2 seed, but otherwise they fall all the way back to the 6th seed as a wild card and then have to go on the road. So can get the number 2 seed still, but boy, today was ugly. It was catastrophic. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong, and the end result is 56-19. Want to thank producer Jack for helping make today's episode possible. But before, I got to ask you who you got. Let me know in the chat. Type D for Dolphins or B for Bills, because we got to look ahead to next week. Dolphins have to have this win for the AFC East title. Let me know in the chat. Type D for Dolphins or B for Bills, and hopefully this Dolphins team will bounce back.